Hello and welcome to my Modern World podcast. We're going to talk about the new technology. For example, the iPhone 11 Pro Max, Google Pixel 4, PlayStation 5 or PS5, and Xbox Scarlet. New technologies like this is coming out in the future or it possibly already came out. There's even virtual reality or VR, and AI, which is artificial intelligence. There's also electric cars like the Tesla. Not only the Tesla, but more brands are going in to make electric cars. The way that the new technology is developing around us is going fast because at one point we will be able to make a bunch of new stuff with this. I'm going to be talking about a few more in between the questions. Here's my interview with Marco Pedrosa. Let's begin. I did notice the Google Pixel 4 and the iPhone 11 Pro Max is quite similar. For example, the 3 cameras, which is interesting. One of the main differences is that one is an Android and the other is iOS. Plus, there's a price difference with the two phones. The price difference is the Google Pixel 4 is $799 and the iPhone 11 Pro Max goes for a whopping $1,099 at 64 gigabytes each phone. Many people have a variety of opinions on these two phones. What's yours?
Well, I think it depends on personal preference. One could last much longer than the other one, and the other one could have less storage space, which could give you problems with the time.
Just redo. You have to keep it going.
I'm gonna do this question. I gotta organize my thoughts. That's why you gotta read it for me.
Yeah, I know, but no. Crap.
It depends on personal preference. It depends on how long you're gonna have that phone and how much storage space you're actually gonna need. I don't know.
That's all you got?
Oh, yes, I gotta think first. Yes, that's all I got.
That's all you got? Okay. Well then, that's it. That's enough, I guess. Okay.
We'll go back to that.
Yeah, we'll go back to that, I guess. Okay. Do you know anything about consoles?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Well, did you know about the new PlayStation 5 coming up? Did you read about it?
Actually, I did not know there was a new PlayStation 5 coming.
Oh, okay. Well, there's a lot of new websites that are just like trying to get out information or leaked information. And there's also the Xbox Scarlet. Did you know about that one?
No, I actually didn't.
Yeah, neither did I, actually. Kind of interesting, huh? It is said that these two consoles have a 10 through 15% performance difference, which is quite a lot. What do you think these differences can lead to in consoles?
Well, there's a lot of different problems they could develop with performance in consoles. There is like load up speeds on games, like how fast it takes for you to load up a game, and there's also the lag, which depends on the console and its performance. So I think 10 to 15% difference is quite a big jump. So it could really lead to a favorite in these two.
Definitely. Especially right now, there's like, oh, PlayStation's better or like Xbox is better.
Yeah, I think this is gonna open up many people's eyes to see which console is trying its best to perform for the people instead of performing for the money.
Exactly. They said, I think, that the PlayStation 5 could go to $499. I'm pretty sure that's what I read. I'm not sure.
The prices have to do a lot with this too. 10 to 15% is a lot, but the money could lead to many people being mad.
That's right.
And they could probably choose one just because it's cheaper, and they could get a lot of problems.
You're right. Okay. Now, I do want to talk about electric cars like the Tesla. Have you seen or heard of any of them?
Oh, yeah, the Tesla.
For sure. That's a big one.
Yeah.
The Tesla was and still is a great addition to technology. Although it may be pricey, the electric cars are going to be good because the use for gasoline will be decreasing. Now, other car brands are trying to make electric cars, which is cool. Do you really think any of them could succeed as much as the Tesla will?
Well, technology is growing increasingly, so I do believe that they could grow to be better than the Tesla. I think that they shouldn't really have as much competition because at the end of at the at the very end they're going to help the world out because gasoline cars, they do damage the ecosystem because they bring pollution to the world. So yeah, I think it's gonna be better
If they add more?
if they add more electric cars.
Okay.
Even though it may be more expensive, I think in the future we'll be growing towards that.
Yeah, we'll definitely benefit from that, right? Try to put your mic closer to you because then it's like little spikes. Look. Anyways, virtual reality. Have you heard of it?
Yeah, I have.
It's a very interesting topic, isn't it?
Yeah.
There is a lot more of that here, actually. They're trying to release more, I'm pretty sure. What do you think about the new world of VR?
Well, it is really interesting how they're working on making worlds inside of it and making it super realistic. The games, they're really fun. Yeah, they make a lot of games and they're super creative because it's like you're experiencing it from your point of view, and it actually feels real.
You're right. Okay, that's good. Okay, 5G was introduced last year. Well, a lot of people were talking about it last year. Most people talked about it, and well, it is said that 5G will rise at 2020, which means it will release on phones at 2020. Especially in T-Mobile, that's what I read, which is the upcoming year, actually, because we're in 2019, and that next year is 2020. Anyways, 5G is the newest generation of cellular network. It is a ton faster with download and upload speeds. What would you like to say about 5G?
Well, yeah, 5G does seem to grow in speeds and downloads for what they are saying. So hopefully it does develop new technology in the Wi-Fi of phones. I worded that correctly.
You could just re-say it, and then I'll just edit it out. Try getting a little bit closer to your mic. Hold on.
Can you hear me now? Hello? Hello?
Yeah, that's better. It's 'cause look at
I gotta be super close to this, and
yeah. Okay.
you're gonna hear my breath. Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
5G is a big step towards download speeds and upload speeds, but the price does have to do a lot with these new technologies because, I mean, many people can't afford these stuff because they really put the price up for these. So, yeah, I think it's a big step towards the
Phones,
future.
mobile phones, especially.
Yeah, mobile phones, and yeah.
That's it? Okay. Well, moving on from 5G, you told me just a while ago to search up 6G. I didn't think there would be anything, and I thought it were to be impossible to know anything about 6G. Now, I searched it up because you told me to, but it turns out that China is already researching 6G. How did you know about 6G?
Well, I know that there's a lot of competition for money, so I think that they're thinking a step
further
from their competition. So once 5G is released, they're definitely going to be ready to release 6G, which is going to cost quite a bit of money, I'm pretty sure.
Most likely, yeah.
But yeah, they're thinking ahead of their competition, which is smart.
Very smart.
Yeah.
You're right. Well then, congrats to China for researching such things already. They haven't even released it yet. Like, what in the world? How?
I know.
They're pretty fast, huh?
Yeah, I think they might actually be using this information of 5G to their advantage, so they can try to so they can try to improve 6G as much as possible to have it as soon and ready as possible.
Oh well. Well then, last question that wasn't on the paper. Well, I shouldn't have said that, right? Anyways, last question. Oh, it's not cold. Anyways, last question. Do you have any more to add to this?
Well, let's just go back to the first question because it answered it correctly.
Oh yeah. Anyways, let me reread the question then. I did notice like, gosh, damn, that was loud. I did notice that Google Pixel 4 and iPhone 11 Pro Max is quite similar. For actually no, let's redo that one. Okay. Do you know about the Google Pixel and the iPhone 11 Pro Max?
Well, I don't know about the Google Pixel 4, but I do know about the iPhone 11 Pro Max and all its cameras.
You're right, actually. I think the iPhone 11 Pro Max was released about in September. I'm pretty sure. I think so.
When was the Google Pixel 4 released? Do you know that?
Probably last month, I think. Yeah, everybody's been getting their hands on the Google Pixel 4.
Oh, so it's quite new.
Yep. They've been like trying to see which one's better, which one's worse, kind of like that. And then
So they're similar in a way.
yeah, they're very similar actually. For example, the 3 cameras, they have that very quite similar. They even have the same cube as to where they added the cameras. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Where they position them?
Yeah, exactly. And one of the main differences is that one is in Android and the other is iOS, which is a big one because, well, people mostly like iOS more than Androids.
Yeah.
But, I mean, everybody has their own different perspectives, right?
Yeah, I think it's because of the personal preference. One could be slower, one could be faster, or that's what people believe in.
You're right. Actually, when they did announce these new iPhones coming up, which was the iPhone 11 and the iPhone 11 Pro Max, they did say that they had a new chip which made it a ton more faster than any other phone, which could be a very big difference toward this Google Pixel 4. But I'm not sure what type of features the Google Pixel has or what benefits it has. I haven't really read into that. But one benefit that's massive is the price. So a Google Pixel 4 is $799 for 64 gigabytes, only for 64 gigabytes. There's more to it, but that's the only price that I really wanted to get into. Then the iPhone 11 Pro Max, which is also going to be 64 gigabytes, goes for a whopping $1,099. Now it does have a ton more other gigabytes for sure, which is like I think it goes up to 512 gigabytes, which is insane. But the price difference is about $300 for sure. Many people have a variety of opinions of those two phones, especially the price. And I guess because one is Android and the other one isn't. What are your opinions on these two phones?
Well, it's hard to tell because they do change the prices, but they don't really say anything that's different between these two. And I think the iPhone might be overpricing their price just because of the brand name. And I think there's many more people that prefer the iOS software because it's more reliable than the Android, or at least that's my opinion. I personally use Android, but I do think I'm gonna be getting an iPhone soon, maybe an iPhone 10. And the storage is a big it's a big impact on these phones. 512 gigabytes is actually insane. I don't know what you could be storing with that storage space, but you could be using this phone for a long time without it having any issues. But Android, I think it's less reliable. But
Okay. Oh well.
yeah.
Well then, actually, did you know? Well, not to throw iPhone under the bus, but did you know that that over time, as they release new phones, they start slowing down their other ones?
I did not know that. I think that's a bit. Well,
But one main
yeah.
thing is that they're trying to keep their highest price at least 1,000. Every single once they
Yeah,
release an
I've seen
iPhone,
that.
they put one for $1,000. Okay. Once they release an iPhone, they try to keep it at a minimum of $1,000,
Yeah, I've seen
and
that.
they start decreasing the prices of their other phones. For example, when the iPhone 10 was released, or no, actually, no, let's redo that one. Okay, for example, when the iPhone 11 and the iPhone 11 Pro Max was released, they decided to put the iPhone 10R to, pretty sure it was $799 or $899. I think that was the iPhone 10. I don't remember. Hold up. Okay,
Well,
yeah. Okay, for example, I lost it. For example, whenever they release a new phone, for example, the iPhone 11. I already said for example more. Okay. For example, with the iPhone 11 Pro Max, they kept it at $1,099, right? And
yeah.
so every time they release a new phone, they lower down the prices of the other phones that were before it, which is actually quite good, but also the newest iPhones do get quite expensive.
Well, yeah, their strategy is interesting because since you said they do slow the other phones down, but they also put the price down for them, which is it's interesting because I'm not sure if they're gonna keep slowing them down as they add more iPhones or as they develop new technology inside those iPhones. But it is something worth talking about.
You're right. And well, I'm assuming that the battery will last very long on the iPhone 11 Pro Max.
Well, yeah, as they develop new phones, I'm pretty sure they're trying to increase the ability of everything they have inside the phone, as well as the cameras and the battery.
And what I do like, one thing about the iPhones for sure, is that iOS, it gets easier for it to not hack it or
Yeah,
something like that.
they have a pretty safe method of keeping
People with their privacy.
your passwords and everything safe. But one thing I don't like about the iPhones is that they're really, really easy to break. Like if you drop it, there's a pretty big chance you're gonna break your phone.
You're right, because both sides are now glass.
Yeah,
So,
and new phones are increasingly getting thinner.
oh
which
yeah, they're
is-
getting lighter too.
Yeah, I think it's really dangerous, and hopefully people are now starting to work on better cases because most cases really don't work with iPhones as much as Androids do. If you drop an Android, it's probably gonna be fine. It's probably not gonna crack. I've never cracked an Android in my life, which does say a lot about iPhones. I haven't had many iPhones in my. I've had like the iPhone 5 and the iPhone 8, which I did break one, the iPhone 5 a long time ago because it's pretty skinny. Those phones that they have.
You're right, actually. And yeah, I got nothing. What else I was gonna think?
Try to end the question.
And the question?
Well, yeah, with your own opinion. Well, I think that my personal opinion is that this phone is better because this.
Okay.
So my next question is about, and then you kind of cut it.
Oh yeah, okay, got it. Trying to think about a personal opinion. Well, I don't really have much of a personal opinion actually, but I do want to say that I'm being watched. Hold up. Anyways, this is so weird. Anyways,
That was a bit weird.
yeah, that was a bit weird. What? Okay. I don't really have much of a personal opinion between the iPhone and the Android. I'm just gonna say that I'm not on with both these phones. The amount of cameras it has is just too much, and it's messing with my poor old brain. So I would say that I wouldn't personally buy any of those phones because, well, I mean, I don't know actually. I'm not really a fan of just that type of phone. Well, those type of phones, especially because it has 3 cameras. I don't think I'm gonna be using all 3 cameras, and I think that it's just a bit too much for cameras, especially the amount of cameras it has.
Yeah.
Anyways, moving on to the next question.